for a difference of nothing.
It's 5 grams for this wire. It's 2 grams for that. That's one piece.
So it's 2, 4, be 5 grams off the whole airplane.
So 5 and 5 is 10, plus another one for having the elevator is 15 grams in hard wire.
Okay.
So you got 3, 9, about 8 grams for carbon. So it's a savings, and it's a savings after the CG.
Another coat of paint.
Well, savings after the CG. So, I mean, that means something.
And we'll see. I mean, them are the last thing to go on. So.
I mean, I watched you through this whole build, and I seen a lot of places where you said, well, that's not much, or that's okay. And I know you better than that. That I know why you're saying that is because you just don't have to make it any better.
You know what? I forgot to put this mic in.
Had Buddy test it with his tester. Laugh out loud. I don't know what it's called.
All right, audio check. We got good audio. We got 2 watchers, 1 thumbs up. Good morning, Alexander. Good morning, Alan. Hey, if the guy's an electrician, he figured it out and fixed it.
Had a friend come over with a tester and so-called tested it. And said that one side's only putting out X amount and the other side's not. Well,
You mean one leg is only putting out 110 and leg's only putting out
they should both put out 110.
right?
It's
And
220.
if not, call the electric company because it's up on the pole.
Well, it could be a breaker.
How could it be a breaker if it's putting out?
Or a terminal that's not tight that come loose a little bit.
Yeah, well, tight.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm getting everything that you get up there.
All right. Oh, why'd I come down here?
One side's only pushing 18 inch or watts. I'm no electrician, she says.
Right.
I'm from her daughter, since she's the property manager. Let's see. Yeah, I wish we would have too. All I can do is call an electrician, have an electrician go over there and look at it, because I'm not an electrician.
Right.
You know, and have them go over there and look at it and do whatever it takes to fix it. And if it's their dryer that's at fault or whatever, then they pay for it. Ask her if it can wait until Monday. Because I don't want to have, well, if I have to pay for it, I don't want to have to pay for an emergency call.
Extra.
It's just a weekend emergency call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Take your clothes to the laundromat and dry them.
Clothes anyway. You gotta see that place.
Their whole basement is nothing but clothes. Stuff out of the way. We don't need this for a while, do we?
Well, should I call Sean or should I just?
Call Becky.
Oh, I'll Text her.
She's the one, or text her or whatever. She's our property manager. None of that stuff. We're not supposed to be talking to them, basically. That's what we pay her to do.
True.
I got a couple little dents in this, and guess what? They're on the bottom.
Let me just call her, Barb. I'm gonna go upstairs for a minute. Sorry, guys. I gotta take care of some business. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do we have audio? Let me know. Can you hear me? This is the worst situation when I don't know whether we have any audio. I see the pictures okay, but is the sound good? Sound is good. All right, great. Thank you. I needed that. All right, today I'm going to glue this stabilizer in, and that will wrap up. I'm going to glue the stabilizer and the rudder together, and that'll wrap up the build, and then it all comes down to sanding. And there'll be plenty of it. I might, if I get this on, get it glued in, I might get 3 coats of dope on the fuselage and maybe start doing the Jap tissue today. It's, we were over here trying to figure out weights. It doesn't look like I'm gonna make my weight go. It's just, this thing is just too massive. It's too big. Too much wood. How Billy did it, I haven't a clue. He must have had some exceptionally good wood. Gonna have to do the lightest finish I've ever done on an airplane on this thing. So there's gonna be a lot of sanding. At least we're almost gray. John said he had somebody call that built airplanes in the 60s and was arguing with him about my finishing technique. He said, "You can't add paint to that. We use talcum powder. But what do you think weighs more, talcum powder or tinted clear?" So obviously the guy didn't know what he was talking about. So we put 7 coats of dope on, then the paper, and then 7 more coats. So what's less, 3 coats or 7? So if you guys have a better way of doing it, let me know. I'll try it out and I'll let you know how it works. But more material means more weight. That's all there is to it. I need my airbrush. There it is. Gotta take that back. Without mentioning names, tell them what they said about our finishing technique.
It wasn't worth the crap.
Yeah.
That we should be putting on 6 coats of clear dope and the base wood and 6 coats on the tissue and then baby powder and all sorts of stuff in the finishing process. My comment was, well, we don't use any primer. He said, well, we're not using any primer either. We're using baby powder. I said, yeah, that's rock. And supposedly, you know, too much paint.
Yeah.
I said, let's see you do a 60-inch wingspan airplane and put a 6-ounce finish on with your painting technique. That was my answer.
Ain't gonna happen.
And then I was asked, why are you arguing with me?
You called me, I called you.
I'm not arguing. I'm just stating how we're doing it. And I said, this is the lightest finish you can get. So I dare you to try to get one any lighter. And you could probably get one lighter if you're building a 35 size airplane. You know, you're going to get one lighter. But you're not going to take a 60-inch wingspan full size stunner and get one any lighter. It's just too much surface area. I don't care what kind of paint you're using. Sub 60 or sub 6 ounces is, I don't see it happening.
It ain't. It ain't.
No. No, you're absolutely correct. It isn't gonna happen.
Like this, let's bring the scale over here. Let's weigh this flap up. This flap, you can't build them up for as light as this is. And it still ain't light enough. This is the long one, the big one.
Okay.
What's it weigh?
1.2, 1.1, 32 grams.
That's with the hinges and the clip and the finish on it.
That's the large. Small one. Weighs. Huh. 35.
Because it's wider.
It's only about an 1/8 inch wider from nothing to an 1/8 inch, isn't it?
Right? That's the grammage. And it was the heavier of the two pieces. They started out at half ounce, so
So you got 67 grams and 2 flats.
what are you gonna do?
Covered and ready for color paint.
Well, that's what hinges too. You gotta remember that,
Yeah.
and the wire in there. See, take the well, if you take the wire out, then it's hard to get the hinges back on the hinges. I need some more dope on that, on the edge.
You need to spray on the coat.
Yeah. I won't do that though until I get the fuselage ready to go.
Yeah, I don't see how you're gonna get it much lighter than that. I mean, unless you had 3-pound wood instead of 4-pound wood.
See what the boys have to say, if anything. Nothing. You hear you licking chicken.
Licking chicken.
Let's see, who was that again? Donald. You know, Don Main.
Yeah, I know Don.
He follows the channel,
Yeah, he's good, man.
and I can't believe. You know, I always thought that he knew exactly what he was doing, and he said, how much we help him.
Well, he built a pretty nice airplane. So, I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with there's just more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? And if you learn another way, and I know I've learned numerous ways to do them, and I try all of them, try all the new ways just to see, well, maybe that works pretty good for me too. Or it doesn't work for me at all. And I go from that, you know, if it works for me, then I may incorporate that into everyday stuff. If it doesn't work for me, then it goes into the memory bank to, you know, maybe try down the road or maybe never try it again. I got that backwards. These are a precise fit. These are actually coming out pretty nice.
Oh, the sanding that's gonna happen.
At least you're sanding dope. I'm sanding aluminum.
So what are you gonna do about the electrician? Monday?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting for my daughter to get back a hold of me. I don't want to have to pay an electrician to come over to fix a dryer problem on the weekend and pay.
$200.
Yeah. for the minor inconvenience. They can take enough clothes to a laundromat and do a load of laundry at the laundromat. They really need it.
Or they can call Suds and Duds like I do, and
Yeah, have them come pick it up.
yeah, they do a nice job too. I'm glad I found them.
I told you that you'd like it once you did
It's
that.
$1 a pound.
Well, see, it's costing you more because you're having them pick it up and drop it off to you. But it'll cost you less if you take it in there and,
They don't have it in there. It's an online deal.
oh, really? So there's no dropping it off yourself and picking it up?
No, what I think has happened is that somebody started a website and had different girls doing laundry,
Yeah, that could be.
and they do it at home.
That could be.
But it's nice fabric softener and scented and folded. I don't fold clothes that
Do
good.
you give them your own soap and stuff?
No.
Now, see, I did that when I was doing that. I gave them my soap, the type of soap I wanted to use. I gave them the fabric softener. I gave them, all that stuff.
I don't want to be involved with that.
And then all I did was drop it off and pick it up the next day, and it was folded and washed and folded and all that stuff. And then they gave me back my bottles of soap and stuff, and till the next time.
Man. Yeah. I guess that's good enough till I get another coat on it.
Yeah, you get the fuzzies if you start getting too obnoxious with it. End caps. I'm gonna push these pins out of these things and put different pins in it. That's just music wire in there right now. It's probably good enough, but I'd rather have like a drill rod or something in it.
What are we gonna glue this elevator on, or the stabilizer on with? 30 minutes? 15 minutes?
Something that's got a little bit of cure time to it. I wouldn't do it with 5 minutes. Just got work too fast, almost 5 minutes.
Take a look at it and see what you think we gotta do before I might have to cut something.
Point this way where you can step back from it and eyeball it right there, because I don't do nothing more than eyeball mines, and if they don't set in their level under their own weight, I sand it or do whatever I got to until it does.
The problem is I can't sand it.
And then yeah, we can. Or we can pin it. You got enough room in there that we can pin it.
Huh? Good right there?
Not quite.
It went down, I saw it.
Still needs a little bit more. We're gonna have to. You're sort of tight right there. See, I'm adding just a little teeny bit of weight and it's not moving. So that means it's hitting. Gotta go down just a little bit more. It's probably just a corner. Like right up there, just a little corner right there, a little corner right there that's touching and the center's not touching. I mean, we can take a piece of sandpaper and slide in there and just.
Okay, try it now.
Still needs more.
Okay, let it go. Okay, try it now.
closer, still needs more. Is it hitting in the center yet?
Yeah.
Here, let's do it like this, Ben.
You know my welding lenses that go in my hood?
Yeah.
I cut them at a 45 and got little clear squares, little triangles.
Really? Oh, pretty.
Yeah, I cut them on the shear. They're perfect. And then I also cut one that has a, I should have brought it, that has the inside corner cut off so you can do rudders.
Oh, cool. There's some of your sandpaper.
Yeah, that's 50. I use 36.
That's as coarse as I could find was 50.
You only need one sheet of that for a lifetime.
Yeah. I got a whole box of them.
I swear my 36 grit piece of sandpaper has lasted 30 years.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that in the least. Let's see here.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Jim. That's an old Army term. I don't know what that was. Oh, licking chickens. Army term.
Licking chicken, eh?
Well, Jim and the rest, we're going to glue the stabilizer in. We might want to do something on the bottom on the other side, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that.
There's a piece of 1/8 inch glued across
Yeah.
on the underside.
bottom.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot harder to sand.
yeah. It's gonna be hard to glue. This whole thing's gonna be hard to do. Set my little standing block down. I have to. You see it? That little standing block. Should have 320 on it. It looks like yours, but it ain't. I brought it from home. No, here it is on the floor. Yeah. The building ate it. Too far?
Pretty good. Is it a little bit much, but not. You probably can't hardly measure it.
That's too much.
It's too much, but it's not.
Take some more. Yeah, went back the other way. We're gonna have to babysit it because
And we will. You typically have to anyway. We'll put our pieces of wood on there that hold it lined up. And
try
then
just the sandpaper without that stick on it.
we'll babysit it because the glue will make a difference. It'll make it.
That's it right there.
You don't want to put any more weight on it. Yeah, you know this. Telling the people. I don't ever, when it comes to this, I don't ever apply weights to this stuff, per se weights, like to weigh it down solid, 5 pounds on each half of this or something. I want it to sort of float.
Yeah.
And then babysit it until it's dry. I use sticks with pins in it that go from the wing to the stab that holds it square front to back. And then I use a pin or two in here just to sort of stick it. And a lot of times the pins will add just enough friction to where you can tip this a little bit and it'll stay. So how long pieces do we need?
This tail moment is 16 and 7/8.
Okay, 16 and 7/8. Cut my fingernails off the other day and I can't feel anything.
I measured that tail moment up to the fuselage side. There might be a few thousandths adjustment in this. We're not going to get too excited about it.
No. No, this is just a guesstimate sort of thing. It holds you within a 30 seconds.
Let me explain how important this is. If you're flying along and you have your wing in this way and your elevator in this way, and they're working in parallel, everything's going to act correctly. If they're out this way and you give it up, it's going to cant the tail that way, or the opposite way if you got it canted that way. So they must be parallel. It really doesn't matter that if they're off a little bit this way, but as far as this way goes, they better be damn close. And try to get them parallel. And what happens when they're not parallel this way, or wait a minute, yeah, this way, is you get it rolling.
Yeah, it'll do some weird stuff.
So if you see an airplane go up like that and it's going all like that,
Do this like this. Well,
now you did it.
well, that's the excess. Well, now I really did it. Shouldn't have used that much of wood on this.
It should be pine.
Yeah, well.
We got motor mount material. Glue that other stick back on there too. This is all part of bench trimming. When my airplanes come out of the shop and go out to fly, they're pretty close. I mean, I don't have to do a whole lot of weird shit to them. I can't remember who was telling me, I think it was Chris, about the tip weight. Turn it upside down and put enough tip weight that the outboard tip just falls to the ground. It should be enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
All you're trying to do with tip weight is to offset the weight of the line. Another thing about tip weight, and I can't, a lot of the old timers say it doesn't make a difference, but I know that it does. Bell crank location, wingtip weight box location, and lead out exit location. Try to keep that all straight. So you plot the center of gravity. You know that your lead outs are going to be an inch behind the center of gravity. Try to put your bell crank, high point of the wing, behind the center of gravity. If you put it ahead of the center of gravity, the airplane seems tail heavy. It sounds goofy, but that's just the way that it works. If you put it ahead of the center of gravity, the airplane feels nose heavy. So if you want to track nose heavy, go ahead and put the bell crank pivot ahead of the plotted center of gravity, and I do that all off by the trailing edge. So draw a straight line from where the lead outs are. Keep the line parallel to the trailing edge, and that's approximately where the bell crank should mount. And you try to get the wingtip weight box in line with that. So the center of the lead outs, the center of the bell crank, and the tip weight box will all line up. This is me. I mean, so many guys have told me I'm wrong. I don't care, and believe me, it will help trimming the airplane because you won't have any goofy stuff going on. That way, when you make that first corner, what do we got there?
We're off a little bit.
Well, split the difference.
Need to unpin that other side.
How much off is it? 1/8 inch?
Not quite. An 1/8 inch total. Let's try that right there and see how that's. Yeah. Excuse me.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, hon?
Well, let's see here. See what's going on. Why do they make rulers backwards? Stupid. So I got 16 7/8 there. And 60, that's close enough. Within a 64th of an inch. That's plenty good. These Tom Morris pins, really good. They're super neat. I mean, these are like acupuncture needles. Okay. Piece of sandpaper. That's it right there. I do not recommend gluing these in with CA. When CA dries, it pulls. Damn. I think I'm going to work on that pipe tunnel exit because the turbocharger, of course, I don't know, that'll allow me for a little longer tunnel. It's 6 to 1, half dozen the other. You know, it's a scale detail that goes on it that just isn't quite right because I'm running a 75 instead of a 61. The pipe is longer. The turbocharger mount right where the weenie sticks out. If I put it farther back, it will look out of scale. And I am going for the most scale-like appearance I can get. We'll work on this after I get that glued in there. Yeah, that's a little different. Let's see here. I don't know. I can tell you this ain't gonna pull like a bear. It's got 3 degrees motor offset and rudder offset, so it should stay out at the end of the line. If you watch my flight of my 07 Thunderbolt, it pulled like a bear too. Now Jim Lynch on here has seen that airplane fly. He was there when I crashed it. What gauge would you recommend? Lead out size have to be... What size lead out lines do... Let's see. Thank you, Alan. Balloon Fiesta today in Albuquerque. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try to answer this question. What size thickness? You know, I don't know. I forgot. They're probably around 40 thousandths. Let's see if I can find John's calipers. I don't know what he did with them. He was working with them right here. £100 test. I know, you know, over £100 test. I bought that roll of lead out wire. There they are. I brought that roll of lead out wire from Jack Sheeks. I got 300 foot for $5 from Jack, and it'll last a lifetime. Okay, so we got 0 here. 30 thousandths. So it's double what the flight lines are, because you don't want to repair that. And the way that I do the bell cranks, if you watch through the entire build, the way that this suspended bell crank is put in, you will never pull the bell crank out. You will never break a lead out. Your lines will break before anything happens. And that's the way it should be. I don't want to be at the Nats pulling and have the bell crank pull out like I have seen happen, Joe Gilbert. and Richard Oliver. It's like they didn't use glue or something. What are you gonna do? So we'll wait for John. We'll mix up some epoxy and epoxy that in there and babysit it. Here he comes.
Sorry about that.
I got it all set.
Yeah, everything nice. That looks nice.
I guess we want them measured side to side.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's close. I have 13 inches on this side. They make rulers to read upside down for some stupid reason.
This is 13 and a 16.
Close enough.
What I always do is I mark this.
Yeah.
It's me.
Mark it up.
When I got it set in there nice and neat, I mark the top and bottom. At least that gives me some lines to go to. Because we're going to take this stuff off. And we're going to try to work it side to side to get some glue underneath of it.
That ain't possible.
Don't move side to side at all?
No, because the horn is in there and the push rod is, there's thousands in there.
Okay, well then we're gonna have to go inside and outside and try to squish it up in there.
I was hoping that maybe you have a syringe with that we could squirt glue in, with maybe white glue on the bottom. Because that plate is right here.
Yeah, runs the full width.
Yeah, it goes from one side to the other up against the bulkhead there to lock that together.
Yeah. Well,
gluing this top in is nothing. It's open there and just.
see, I've got syringes, but I don't have anything with a needle big enough that glue would go through. I got my insulins for syringes. They're a real little fine thing, super glue, play heck getting through it.
How about if we take a syringe and make a needle with a 16th inch piece of tubing?
Might be able to do that. What I do is I would tape this off since you're like this, since you're sort of snug in there. I would tape off both sides, and then that way we can, use a piece of like 64th inch wood and force it.
As long as it's this tape.
Up in there, and then we can pull that off and you don't have a big mess left from the.
Here.
Fuselage side too.
Fuselage side too? Oh, that just fell off.
We're not up against it. You need to get right up on the side of it. Right on that pencil line.
Tape don't stick.
No, if it don't stick, if there's any dust on it, it don't need to stick really much, just enough to stay put.
I'm not too awful worried about the top because we can glue from the inside. More worried about the bottom. We can shoot the glue in.
Yeah, and get it on both sides and mush it around. I just don't want to leave a lot any on
Yeah, well,
the surfaces any more than we have to. Flip it over and do let's see if this comes loose.
they both come loose. We'll have to set it again. You got the lines on there, so it don't matter.
Let's just take them off for right now.
The big mama. So we're going to do another canopy pull.
I would say.
I'll fix that canopy plug. You know what? We ought to force this glue in while it's upside down.
Yeah, we're gonna use some slick here. 15 minute or 30 minute or something like that. Just have to babysit it. 30 minute will take a good hour, probably.
Maybe 15 then.
5 minutes way too fast.
Yeah. I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it too, and that's why I speak from experience. Here's 30 minutes. I don't know that I got any 15 minutes. I don't have any 15 minutes.
No, and 30 is what it is.
Finishing resin, that takes hours.
We got 11 thumbs up. Yes, it is a suspended bell crank. If you followed this build thread, which I'm going to put together, I'm going to try to highlight everything. There's probably 90, more than that, probably 100 hours on this online, and I have them all. I don't have them all in a sequence. I got to do that, and I'm going to take all those videos. I probably ought to do it for the members. All those videos and condense them down into a 2-hour build. The whole thing, cut the ribs, just the highlights of everything.
I think that we can tip this down like this and shove epoxy up in there, and then tack this way and shove epoxy up in there and get the bottom real good and get up onto that plate. Does that plate go all the way back to here?
No,
It's just the front part,
it only goes
about halfway.
not even halfway because of the clearances on the push rod.
Okay, well, we still got to get a little bit in underneath of it here. So we'll do it like that and use a piece of 64th inch plywood or something, and take and put a bead in there, and this will go up in there without any problem.
I don't think it'll go that on this. I don't think it will.
It'll go up in there, and we can shove that epoxy up in there.
And then when I get super filled, that'll stiffen it up good.
Oh yeah. This will be all it'll need. And then the top, we can get to both sides on the top, so we can sort of goose some down in there and squeeze it in there in the gap, and then it's pin it up and babysit it. Takes longer to put the stuff in there than it does do it.
We got a soda. I think I got sodas here, don't I?
I couldn't tell you that. Whatever's in that little fridge over there. This, got a little piece of 64th here.
I got 2 sodas.
Poppy
I got
sickle sticks.
2 in the car too.
Let that stuff go down to one side.
What's that?
Just getting things set up.
So by the end of today, this airplane will be completely in one piece. The rudder will be glued on. Everything. It'll all be in one piece.
Yep.
I cut this too long. I need to probably put a block of wood in there or something. Because that's as long as the pipe's going to be. I don't know.
Well, if you do have to adjust it, you need room. What is it? The longer the pipe, the lower the RPM. The shorter the pipe, the higher the RPM.
Yeah. That's as long, that's 19.5 inches now. I can't see it being 20.5.
Well, how big is that turbocharger box? Will it cover it?
It'll cover that hole. Well, it'll cover that hole there.
I wouldn't worry about that. The more you add to it, nothing weighs less than something. Especially after the CG. So, What'd you do? Use cutouts off this pipe tunnel to put these doors on because they had an arch to them?
Yeah. The other ones that I did on my other airplane were straight doors. Because I didn't think about it. I got to looking and go, you know,
I don't know that it makes anybody knows or could tell. Yeah, everything else is sort of abbreviated on these semi-scale airplanes. It's really hard to get the look. I mean, that's the thing, is getting the look. You can't get the proportions no matter what you do, because the stab on the real airplanes like that big and the wings are completely different. And you can get the fuselage sort of right. And normally the noses are longer, since on these old airplanes they had them big radials in there that weighed so much, so they had short noses.
this is a short nose. It's 9 inches. Let's see, it might be even 8 3/4.
So it won't be using any prop shaft extension or anything on this one.
This is actually at 9 inches. 9 and 16 and 7/8 are the moments.
I always mix up way too much epoxy because I don't ever want to run out.
Yeah. That's about an ounce right there. Probably 2 ounces.
We won't use all this, but we've got it. And I just do circles side by side and try to.
That's all I do.
Some people do line or something. It doesn't make it. Just try to make it look. This stuff's not that critical like some of them real high end epoxies are, as far as weighing it and all that stuff.
Well, we got 15 minutes now to get this together, or 30.
I am a firm advocate of stir it and look at it and stir it again and make sure it's mixed real good.
If you add micro balloons to this stuff, it will kick off in half the time.
Yeah, it'll go off pretty quick. And if you leave it in a big puddle, it'll go off faster.
Exothermal reaction. Are you guys ready for the sanding videos? Because they're getting ready to start.
Barb was saying something the other day. She says, "Is that all he ever does is sand?" I said, "Yep." I said, "Pretty much." I said, 90% of it's in the sanding. Never stop.
When you think you got it sanded, you got to sand it 2 more times and look at it, and then sand it again. And like I've sanded this twice, it'll be sanded 3 4 more times.
Get that one away. That crap all the way up. Wazoo on it.
You take it on the dish sander and sharpen it up.
I just get the fuzzy off the end of it.
About the first 1.25 inches has got that plate in it. I'm hoping that will that will be enough.
It'll be enough. It's probably 10 times more than what you really need. Do that side over there. This will go your way a little bit.
Okay.
I'll sort of hold the gap in it for you.
Because this side doesn't have as big a gap.
You can hear it squishing back in there.
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear it making this wet squishy noises.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of epoxy in there.
Okay.
Alright.
We want to wipe off the excess.
Yeah, right now we want to sort of pull it up this way and get some Q-tips out here. Try to clean up as much of this stuff as you can right now because you got to pull the tape. After you get it turned, after you do the other side, you got to pull the tape. Why does everything got to be not exactly what you want? Just trying to get every bit of that off there, as much off that tape as I can. Okay. You pull it up on this side.
That's close enough.
Okay, let's flip her over.
Sure feels light with all that other stuff off of there.
Yeah. Do the same thing all over again. Yes.
Talk to Becky.
Give me that.
Do anything until the beginning of the week.
Just gotta figure out who.
Okay.
If we have reliable.
Yeah.
That's who we'll call. Call them Monday morning.
Okay.
Told her to let them know.
Okay, let's
Is what it is. They can go without a dryer for a day or two.
Well,
Did you push that up and squish that out on that side?
what's the matter?
need to, you know what, with it. Sell it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if the market was right.
Market's pretty good right now.
I get a phone call once a day, somebody wanting to buy my house.
Yeah, we get them all the time. They want to
We
buy
get
this house. They
3
want
or
to buy
4.
this house out from underneath those. Not even our, let alone their rental property.
Well, we get what? How many postcards?
And postcards out the yin yang.
Cell phone calls, text messages. Not ready to do it. Except they want them for nothing.
Well, we were going to sell it back when we bought this house. We didn't really want 2 houses, but the market crashed on us big time.
I answer the phone now from people, I don't want any solar, I'm not selling, my house ain't for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, leave me alone.
I'm not interested in insurance.
I didn't call you, you called me, so this is how it goes.
No, I don't need my car. Yeah, somebody called me for a car warranty. I said, yeah, I got a 34 Ford 5-window coupe. Click.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see how close we are right here. I'm holding about a 16th less than the mark. You're about the same.
Moved. Ah, damn.
I want to keep poking holes in it.
I got green shit. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I got green.
Do it from this way. Go down this way.
These pins are a little bit on the short side. Run that right through my finger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. All right, now that holds us even here.
Right here. It ain't right. I got 16 and 3/4 on this side.
And 16 and heavy 3/4. It's not 7/8, but it's not 3/4.
Well, how the hell did that move?
It's a 32nd of an inch off.
Let's see.
It's a heavy 3/4.
Yeah. So it's 16 and 13/16.
Yeah, about.
There's that.
We can get a more accurate scale here.
How about one with the yeah, okay, yeah, that's better. Numbers on the right
I
side,
grabbed the cheapest ruler that I got in the place.
and of course they start backwards. So we got, it reads 1 3/16. That's a little off.
Measure up in here where you measured on this one at.
Yeah, that's it. I must have sanded this around a little bit.
Well, yeah, the things might not be exactly square. I mean, 16th, this thing will grow and shrink a 16th of an inch or more.
But something, let's get it leveled
So
up
you
before
want
the
it
glue
as
dries.
soon as close as possible.
It's actually right on. Come look at this. It's right on.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Just leave it set, don't touch it. Don't put a pin in it, don't do anything, just leave it set. And just keep checking it.
How did that happen? We had it weighted before, and now it's right on. Must be the glue.
The
holding it.
glue is holding it. That thing won't come out of there, the whole back of that plane will come off for that to come out of there.
Yeah, especially after it gets super filled. But the problem is with this airplane.
You know what you might do since you had that cracking problem? I'd take a little bit of glass cloth and put in there just a little roundel. Cut some little 1/2 inch round circles and just use some finishing resin and it'll suck down real tight and not much weight.
90 ounces.
Well, Al Raby did boom, 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 you know, a whole bunch of them, all around his wings, all around his canopy, all around his
How much
cabin
were his
elevator.
airplane's critical mass was 110 ounces.
Yeah. Well, that's where he ran into a problem with that airplane not flying good. I know there's a big thing online right now about weight. How heavy is too heavy?
Where's that at? Facebook?
That's on your website.
No, how heavy is too heavy? Anything
Well,
anything over 40 ounces is too heavy.
nobody's built one too light yet. So if that's answers the question, you know, if you're building with 4-pound wood or 2-pound wood, yeah, you could probably build one too light because you build it so light you can't handle it. You know, that's the problem with using 3 and 4-pound wood is you got an airplane this big, just until you get a finish on it, you're punching holes all over it, breaking ribs, all sorts of stuff, just trying to handle it. And I do that with 5-pound wood. As far as, you know, building one too light, I admit that a heavy airplane will track better in heavy winds, but
It'll also put you off balance.
yeah, it'll yank you out of the circle. It'll mush in the corners.
I'm telling you, 58 ounces is the perfect weight for a big airplane like this. I'd like it at 56, but
Weight's not as critical today only for one reason.
power.
We've got unlimited power.
But with that power comes concentrated weight in the nose, and you can feel that. And that's what makes electric such shit to fly, because you're taking an actual brick and putting it in the nose, and
You got to start that weight and stop that weight, and
it doesn't change throughout the flight. You can still feel that brick in the nose. The only difference is the brick goes flat at the end of the flight, so you got no power. And
IC motor picks up power at the end.
yeah, and you guys that fly electric say that I'm full of BS. I watch your airplanes. I see that they got no smoke at the end of the flight.
Well, you can't. You know, you can try to draw more out of it all you want.
But it ain't there.
But if it's not there to draw, which means you got to use a bigger battery and weigh more, and it's a never-ending vicious cycle.
When they can figure out how to make a battery, the wing skins.
Yeah, I think they're working on that. I think they got something out there that's a paint that turns into a battery or something.
Then it would be depending how much all that weighs, that paint weighs, then it would.
Well, there's wing loading. I mean, a wing, aerodynamically speaking, from a real aircraft standpoint, a wing only carries so much weight.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to carry more weight, you got to make it go faster, and it's all a big domino effect thing that falls on top of each other. But if I remember right, back in the day, you used to say like 9 to 10 ounces a square foot was what you're sort of shooting for. But it's hard to build one of these big airplanes at 9 or 10 ounces. You're building them at 12 or 14 ounces a square foot, or 16.
That's pretty damn close right there, that's for sure.
Yeah, here's another little trick. If you're having a hard time seeing this thing,
Don't move it.
if you take some kind of a different color than what your whole airplane is, and like tape this on flush with the top of the wing, put a little piece of this on each side.
Should be using that blue tape.
And whatever works for you. I thought white was maybe blue tape would be
Out there, out there.
But make sure it's nice and flush with the top of the wing. And that'll give you something contrasting that color to be able to go down there, and we'll put a piece of blue on there and see if that helps. Just put a little piece on it. We can go back and forth. Just a contrasting color that you can use to line up with. I mean, it's got yellow tape too that he could put on there with yellow tape to.
Looks pretty close.
But that gives you can see when the wing starts and the tape starts, it stops and starts, and it gives you a nice line. Yeah, that's right on the money. Right now, if I put that on there or not. Pretty doggone good right there. Pretty doggone good.
This glue is setting up.
Is it good? Good. Yeah. Good. There's something else, another trick. We always do it. You watch us, we'll keep this around until it's dry. And that way we can always go back to this and sort of tattletale when you can handle it. Some guys will throw that immediately in the trash can. But set it off somewhere out of the way without getting
Put
into
your
it.
hand in it. I want to epoxy the rudder on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll CA the line here to the rudder.
Yeah.
Because the way I got it set up, if we put epoxy on the front of this,
That's on that bulkhead.
butts on that spacer that I put there, and epoxy along the bottom here, we'll glue that.
Yeah, you got to triangulate it in there. It can't. That's the best way to do a rubber. A lot of guys will just glue it right on the top. That's really the worst glue joint that you can have. It's just a butt joint. You let it go all the way down and sit on that, and then you triangulate all these forces in there with the sides and.
And then with this glued on the back to the back post, that ain't going nowhere.
Going anywhere.
But the reason why I haven't done this is I want to get this angle correct with this line, and then I'm going to cut this out inside. I'll hollow that out.
gotta sand that to the shape of the fuselage and all that back there and feather it all in.
Yep.
Yeah. Only one other way to do that. Make that in 2 pieces and tack them together. Put it on there, tack it on there, finish it all, pop it apart, hollow it. Bob Hunt did that. I watched him do that on the Saturn or something where he took a fin
I did
and it
that.
was a 1/4 inch, 2 pieces of 1/8 inch or something like that, and he glued them, tacked them together and shaped everything and then took it off and hollowed the inside of it.
I had 2 pieces of 1/4 inch. I glued it together and I hollowed it and I put it on. I built 4 rudders for this. I did that one that was the lightest one,
Open bay.
but I broke it. And so instead of repairing it, we'll just go with this one. This was my lightest wood I had. And if you look at it, it's tapered. It starts out at 3/8 at the bottom and tapers to the top to get some of the weight off, and I'll sand some more on it. And
It's airfoiled sort of a little bit.
yeah,
Only do so much with it. I know I build them up. I've done every which way I could do them. I could build them like a wing with ribs and sheeting on them, or open bay, and I don't know. It's still solid,
this is
solid wood if you can get the wood.
this is built up. The stab is built up.
Done foam core.
Yeah, John came out to the field one time. I don't know where they go get them. You still got them,
Yeah,
don't you?
they're up on the top of there.
He came out to the field with this foam flap. And I went, man, this is nice. This is super nice. Then he did the skins. I go, well, this is light. Then he put the glue on. Shit. Went to,
And listen, I wiped all the glue off of it. I did it just like you would do a foam wing, you know. You glue on there and wipe every bit of it off and then clamp it under pressure and all that stuff. And just still went through the ceiling.
now, even though these are 1 ounce, they started out 1/2 ounce. So I doubled the weight with just the silk span, the hinges, and the dope.
And those flaps, really, there wasn't much to them. But it was, yeah, I don't know. Flap, 3/8 inch leading edge, about 1/4 by 1/8 inch trailing edge, sanded to an air flat taper. Oh, these are the ones that I was building up. I thought that were the skins. Now here's some skins that you could put on there that are this is probably 4-pound wood.
This is nice. I mean, if you could get a flap just like this is nice. Let's see what we got here. It's less than 1/2 ounce. But then you add the skins. Now we don't have any glue on this. It's 1 ounce.
And that's no glue.
Yeah, that's no glue and no hinges and no paper. You know, it feels really good. Just like this is solid. This was good stuff here. If I took the hinges out and the wire out, 1.2, it started out 1/2 ounce complete.
I mean, even this one right here, you could take one of these skins and put on here, weigh that up.
This is pretty nice though. 6. So this is usable.
So 1/2 ounce. Now this will work though on you. Even with all that structure in there,
It's already worked.
it'll work. It still doesn't have the rigidity, twisting rigidity that you need. So that's the problem. There's a problem. Why it's in the scrap bin, sort of. Now maybe if I get a 35 size plane or something down the line and cut these things down and reuse them for that, that might be a possibility there. This was the other one I stopped after one of them because I didn't like the rigidity of it. You know, it just hasn't, even with the geodetic grips in there, it had no
You can't beat solid wood.
really twist effect to it.
This feels really good. I mean,
Yeah, but there's no rigidity to it. The tissue will add some. That would be a good candidate for carbon fiber veil to give it stiffness.
Jap tissue.
Yeah.
Jap tissue.
See why I say veils, because veil doesn't shrink. So if you set this thing straight, it'll lock it in straight, then cover it with Jap tissue. Use that to lock it in straight so it doesn't warp all up on you. That's the problem with tissue. Tissue will take these light structures like this and it'll warp them all over the place.
It feels pretty good.
So yeah, let's put some glue on.
We can use 5-minute epoxy on this rudder.
Here's another flap experiment.
Oh, those are the flaps I was talking about.
Now these weren't found in core.
Yeah, they were.
These are molded leading edge.
Yeah, that's the one. I went, wow, these are really nice. No. That's for that Russian airplane, right?
Yeah.
John's got a Russian wing for sale, guys. Russian copy. Is it built up or foam?
It's built up. It's complete. I think it's got the bell crank and everything in it.
Yeah, see.
They're nice and stiff. They're about a 1/2 inch thick to a 1/4 inch molded leading edge foam core. Stiff flat.
1.1. It's
I mean, it's
usable.
probably usable, but I didn't like it.
You want 1/2 ounce flap.
Excuse me.
This goes with that Russian wing, right?
Yeah.
They're usable. Got 4 hinges in it, so there's some weight. Get that Russian wing down and show them to these guys. Maybe somebody wants to buy it. Hey, we got a super chat. A couple of them, it looks like. We got a $25 super chat from Chris Everson. Thank you, Chris. A $20 super chat from RC Fred. Thank you, Fred. Let's see what we got here. It's going to be great looking bird here. Okay, thank you, Sparky. It's a suspended bill. I watched the first one you showed me and can't wait for that time in my build. Wondering if I could ask a question regarding how you would approach pinstriping. Well, go ahead, Fred. Ask the question. I'll tell you. Kevin Howling, yep. Always ready for Bob Ross and spinning plates. Installed a weight box per your video, and the result was excellent. Never too old to learn. Thank you, Jim. Jim Lynch. I use alcohol on my finger to spread it. Yeah, that'll work.
So these are just a few pieces of some experiments. I mean, you got to try things. And if you throw a piece away, you throw a piece away. So
go ahead, Fred. Ask the question on pinstriping. Off to the field for my ringmaster day. Have a great day, Todd. Fred, you can always send me a message on Stunt Hanger and I'll reply to you on any questions.
yeah, Craig was getting on me the other day and emailed to me about finishing up that SV that I got started. Oh, that thing's buried underneath there. Do me a favor. There, pick the end of this core up down there on that end.
What do you want for it? 300?
I thought about Dave quit stepping on the lead outs. Throw that tape away. Stick it in there.
It's a foam core.
I must have done one foam core. This foam core, this is a Yashenko Classic. It's a copy of Jerry's brushing airplane. Foam core got the bell crank, push rod in it already, lead out center in it, wingtips are on, they're glued on solid, they've been hollowed and everything, so I don't know what it weighs.
Pounded.
Center section's been glassed with half-ounce cloth.
Probably 15 ounces or so.
14.8.
Good guess.
14.8.
That's actually pretty light for full
It's
wing.
not a bad, I'll tell you what, it's not a bad wing. It's done with good wood, got nice tight joints on everything. I mean, be hard pressed for another wing done as good.
That's for sale, gents. Okay, let's see what Fred. I'm trying to replicate a tomahawk finish on the Brodak prototype model, brown with all the colors. He has nice black pinstripe between the colors, maybe an eighth inch, all straight. Would you use pinstripe brush or mask it off with fine line tape? I can pinstripe. However, pinstriping tape or pinstriping brushed on is done with one-shot sign painter's paint, and it's not compatible with dope. So I probably would tape off the 1/8 inch line and spray dope it. That way you can clear over it and not have a second thought. So you try to keep the products compatible. If you used Brodak dope, go ahead and paint it with Brodak dope. Can't believe Jim Lynch tried my weight box with good results.
Good.
There's a guy who knows what he's doing. Usually what happens is the weight box ends up as far forward on the leading edge as you can get it.
Yeah, they're ahead of the spar, that's for sure. Don't put it behind the spar. Mine normally end up right attached to the spar and the tip.
It's not far enough forward.
Probably not, but I think it's probably close enough.
Okay, how we coming on the glue? We are dry. We are dry. Man, that was I've been looking at it sitting there on my piano stand, thinking maybe I'll try that. I'll glue it on over it, but you can't stand back in my apartment.
No, you gotta be able to get some distance. You gotta have the distance between.
And the lighting is crap. Stay straight.
Oh, it should be, because there's no pressure on those pieces or anything.
Now, if you run into a problem and it happens to go in crooked, all is not lost.
Here.
You can, don't cut it. You can steam it.
Or you can use your hot air gun. Well, it's still real green.
Yeah, while the glue is green, you could heat it up and get it to work. But
you only get one shot at that, because once you heat that epoxy up and it sets again, it won't react the same. It won't loosen up with heat. It's like you post cure it. You get one shot where it sort of stays sort of rubbery. And you can heat it up once, and then once you heat that, it just seems like.
okay, Fred, I tried to pinstripe with dope, and I was using retarder in the dope. You have to retard it so much that it melts the underline. Don't do it.
Yeah, if it doesn't draw out.
If you have a striping brush like the quills that I show, I know that they're at home now. I have striping brushes that they have real long bristles on them. You load that brush and it acts like a rudder, and you drag that rudder. You have to have the paint stay fluid long enough to do the complete line.
Yeah.
You can't go.
Dope dries too fast.
Yeah.
Is basically what it amounts to, and then you'll get halfway into a stripe and it'll dry and it won't go any further, and then you're trying to start another line in the middle of the line, and then you get different sizes and tweaks and stuff. Yeah, it's an art.
That's just tape it off and paint it.
I've done that. And you can go and get you some. They make plastic tape in all different sizes. I think I've got some out in the garage that might even be a 1/16 of an inch.
Yeah, I got it. Limelight. Go to Amazon, search Limelight vinyl tape. Limelite. Limelight.
And I put that stuff down wherever my pattern was I wanted, and then I taped on each side of it. And then sprayed that open area.
However,
a lot of tape.
However, when I stripe this one with those lines, you guys are gonna look at me like I'm nuts. I'm gonna do it backwards. You're gonna tape the line and make a positive. I'm gonna tape the line and make a negative, because then the line is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going like that. But you have to do it.
You got to paint.
Yeah, you got to paint in reverse.
That's hard to do.
So if you already have an airplane that's painted, you can't do that. That thunderbolt that was on the side of my, that yellow lightning bolt on the side of my last P-47, I painted black. Black first, taped, and then yellow on top of black. How did I do that? DC 540.
You primered it. That's the only way you can. You got to block the black somehow.
Yeah.
So that's the only way you can do it. You can't put white over it or anything because it won't work right.
DC 540. And then I shot white on it, then I shot yellow, and then I peeled it off. And then,
You should have done the white first and then ended up with the black. The darkest color last is normal. And that way you can cover without adding primer and all that stuff in between colors.
well, you can't.
I mean, you can't do it if you got red against yellow or something like that. You know, you got to watch.
See, my lightning bolt was outlined with a black stripe, and it was done in reverse. So that's why I'm going to have to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get some 5-minute epoxy, and we'll epoxy this up. How square is that on there? Pretty good?
You know what? I don't have a square that's cut out to square that off of.
We can make it out of a piece of wood. Piece of wood. I'll make one of the tools that I got at work. They go, well, that's neat. Yeah, model airplane tool.
I need to get some more epoxy. I need some more 5 nuts, 15 nuts. 50. You know, my glue that I get, I try to keep a little bit of everything that's out there. 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, finishing cure, laminating resin.
Which is the shit wood? That seems like it's pretty nice.
Well,
All shit wood. I need a piece
actually,
of.
no, it isn't. But
I need a piece of
don't get in that. That's set aside for something. What do you want?
4-inch wide. About
Oh, you're gonna make a square.
yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, rockwood.
Okay, piece right there.
Actually, this don't feel that bad.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. That's about 8 pound wood.
Oh, of course, it's missing part of it. That's why.
And a full sheet.
Okay, we're gonna make a square to square my rudder. And how would you do that? Well, we're gonna use the carpenter square here. Well, I guess I can use this little one. That other one is dug in pretty deep. Now we're gonna need the carpenter square.
Here.
Framing square.
It'll work. People that know how to use it.
1, 7. Let's see how we need more than that. So let's make it a 7. Let me see your saw. Yeah. Boy, it's hard on that end. Remember when they said Zona saw was going out of business and I bought all them Zona saws?
Yeah.
They're not out of business.
I need to get some new ones. These things are
Might be
20 years old.
Remember when they said no more hobby epoxy, and I went, they're still in business. I think that was a ploy to sell.
I went out and bought the last bottle I could find too, and
Then I got 3 kits at home.
yeah, we'll probably get hard in the doggone too before I use it.
Okay, this is a square. Doesn't look square, but it's square.
Now he's gonna cut on it.
What's that?
Now he's gonna cut on it.
No, I'm done.
Cut that notch out of it so it fits right up again. Oh, you already did.
Yeah, I put it 7/7. Already made it in there. So let's pin. I need those pins back. These are Tom Moore's pins, right?
No, they're map pins. They call them map pins or no, what the heck do you call that?
Look, stand back there and look at that rudder, because I can overshoot this.
It's got to go away from me on the top. Right there. That's too much.
Remember, it's tapered.
Yeah, but it's straight right on the trailing edge, isn't it? Straight back here on the hinge line.
Yeah, well, up to about there, it's tapered all the way up.
Yeah, shove it up against it. That's going to be pretty good. It'll just run off on the top.
Damn, I can't. Okay, tell me when it's good, and then come and help me hold this.
Push on the square a little bit.
Right there?
Pretty close.
Okay, come and help me hold this. Okay.
Well, I don't want to pin it solid yet.
No, I want to pin at the trailing edge down here. We'll just tape the top. Okay, now we'll eyeball it.
So you should be flat up to about here and then sort of taper off on it. Is
And
that how you sand it at?
it's close. That's damn cool.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's as close as you can get.
Okay, mix up 5 minutes, put it on there and set it down in there.
Here's your 5 minutes. Here's your mixing board.
Got it, thank you. TLAR, you bet, Dan. Okay, popsicle stick.
You see these springs I've been at?
Yeah.
That just goes in that vise, and these hold the end, one end, these hold the other one. And they just keep your parallels in your vise in place while you're putting your part in there, and they don't keep flopping over on you. I'll make a whole bunch of different ones.
I'll try to remember to bring you some more. You know, I can only bring it when I get it, and they come on pallets.
Yeah, and you get something in, and you... This week I'll
Hand me the rudder.
polishing these things up the last little bit.
I don't think this is coming out.
I've taken that and taken pins and wherever I put glue at, punched a bunch of little holes in it.
Yeah.
Sort of acts like little nails. It does add weight. So you want to be sort of careful doing that. But I will do that on maple when you're gluing maple, like your motor mount area.
Yeah.
I'll take
cut
a
slots.
take a woodpecker, but now we're using slots, so we've got 3 gluing surfaces on each maple mount opposed to just one. Big difference.
Okay. Give me, break it out. I can get rid of this little bit of glue on the end of it there because it's not touching nothing.
Yeah. I don't want it dripping down in there into the control horn. Good to go there.
Make sure it's pushed all the way forward. Okay. Square?
Looks like it's to the right, just a teeny bit to me. Maybe.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No. Pretty damn close.
PVC.
Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah.
Can't get much closer than that. Let me get another square out. Regular square, and I'll look at it like this. Just on the other side.
Yeah, I could go that way just a smidge. Come and look at it.
Still looks like it can get that way. No, I don't want to move it. I think that's good because I see the gap on this side. Nah, that's good right there.
Yeah, I made one of them out of my lens, out of my welding hood. I'll make you one.
They're nice to have.
It's only that big.
They're any size. I don't have them right now, but I'd like to have a set as adjustable parallels.
Damn.
Yeah, that's good. You don't use them very often, but when you need them, you need them.
Yeah. What I want is adjustable reamers.
Well, that's sort of a fallacy. You know, because the adjustable reamer is really made for one size hole, plus or minus.
Negative. Marion, when I worked at Harley Davidson, bought a set off eBay that were made in the 40s in a wood box.
Right.
And he only paid like $60 for them. I mean, they were probably thousands of dollars worth.
See, here's an adjustable reamer, and this is for 1730 seconds to 1930 seconds.
Yeah.
So you don't have a reamer that'll go from an 1/8 inch
Right.
to 3/8.
He had a whole
inch.
set of them.
You have a set that's just a plus or a minus, for certain sizes. And then you can crank it down and adjust it to just the right fit.
And then use the inside,
Yeah, they're nice to have. Well, reamers, a good set of reamers and stuff are really nice to have.
Don't loan them to anybody.
No, you never get them back.
No, they turn them backwards.
Yeah, don't throw them in your toolbox and keep them protected. And
I got one reamer that does one job. I've used 3 times. It costs $300. One reamer.
parallels are nice to have. A good set of parallels. These things look like hell when I got them, but some machinist did this as his project and made 2 sets of these.
Some machinist, his name is Bob McDaniel.
Bob Michael.
Yeah.
Bob McMichael. He made this for his project. He made 2 of them. It's some machinist clamps. I bought these at like a little antique store, odds and ends store.
What they get for them? $1?
I paid $5 for 2 of these, and they look like crap. And I cleaned them all up and wire brushed them and everything, and took a stone to them, got the little dings off of them and stuff, and they're very nicely made. But these things are about $60 a piece, maybe more, depending on what brand they are. But I ended up getting 2 of them. There's the other one. This stuff's a little bigger. So.
Finger clamp is what that is.
All made by this Bob McMichael. Did a good job on them.
Finger clamp.
I was just going through that store. We were looking for a little table and a couple of chairs. And I saw them sitting there and didn't have any price on them. And I sort of had an idea what they cost. And I walked up to the front and I said, "What do you take for these? Two little cheap clamps." Yeah. Guy said, "Well, what do you want to offer me?" I said, "How about $5?" He said, "Sure." It's out the door I went. It's amazing. My grandson's going to vocational school, and he's taking machinery. They got all new CNC equipment in, everything, every piece of equipment in the place is brand new. And then he no sooner signed up and got hired by a local machine shop on an apprentice program.
Where he'll learn more than he can at school.
Probably. He'll get more practical experience with OJT and all that stuff. So we're going to try to accumulate stuff, because he's going to have him, it takes a while to get that stuff because these kids can't afford it.
The country goes the way it's going.
Need to, he'll have certain tools, mics and calipers and depth gauges and stuff like that the company won't supply. Where'd that one go? I did the squish test on. Gonna be the last one I pick up probably, yeah. I don't have that in there. See, that's almost a 1/16 of an inch thick down in the bottom of that.
Yeah, but that'll be fine.
I think that's too thick. I need to do this with all of them, make a little.
Normally, you put a plywood clip in here. These are aluminum tubes inside here to save a little weight. Got to go on just perfect. help I got boogies down in there either. The boogie welds. How we doing on the epoxy drying? Should be dry. Oh yeah.
Dried enough. It ain't going nowhere unless you really crank on it.
You want to save this gauge?
Yeah, right.
Put on the rudder.
Why cut another one?
Show it to the guys. Just a piece with a notch cut out of it.
Some of your cheap wood, some of your 10-pound wood, 12-pound wood, whatever. And the only reason that's off of it is so it fits around that little roundel or fuselage side a little bit. You can mark on here 90 degrees. And that just goes in your little thing. It's close enough for government work. I bet you it's
I bet it's right on.
Close.
What?
I bet it's pretty doggone close. It's not right exactly on.
Well, that is what a framing square is for.
Right on the money. Right on the money.
I don't want to glue this on yet because I think I want to tissue this first before I glue it on. But we can definitely work on this other piece to get it, cut out. How much a puppy weigh?
Yeah, you just added about a quarter ounce to it. Glue.
All behind the center of gravity. Oh, I need some CA on that.
Glue that sheeting down.
Glue the sheeting down.
Running out of that stuff too. CA. 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Oh, you want medium or that's thin?
Yeah, medium be fine. We'll get a little fillet going in there. We're gonna need a kicker though.
Oh, that's coming. I wish this had a little tube for it. This kind didn't come with it. Come from a woodcraft shop. Spray activator. They got a nice supply of epoxies and super glues and stuff, but I haven't tried anything but the activator. It works pretty good.
Works good gluing your fingers.
Still sort of stuck on what is that Bob Smith Industry super glue.
I see if you
RC Hobby Center.
If you look at the woodworkers, on YouTube, they're all using Bob Smith glue.
I need to take you over there and let you look around their shop. They've got some Dremel bits and stuff over there to die for.
Where? They open today?
I don't know. They got these carbide bits, burrs and stuff that'll fit in Dremels, and some of them fit
Here,
in
hit this
stuff
with kicker
bigger.
while I hold it in.
Downtown. Them things are sort of pricey, you know. It's easy to put a $20 bill into one little bit or a $40 bill into a milling bit.
Whatever.
Real easy.
Find out if they're open and we'll go there.
I think they're open on Saturday. It's Saturday, it's not Sunday.
Right. How far is it?
Not very far.
I get me some kicker and they got glue there and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, we're airplane's 100% together except for the rudder, and I'm not gonna do that until after I get the tissue on it, because I'm gonna use Japanese tissue. If you look here, I have these little filler plates that cover this area over. I'm going to take the Dremel tool and cut all that wood away. Doesn't seem like much, and it really isn't much, but I got to get everything I can out of this thing, because it's going to be a pork rind.
They don't have their polygon hours on there.
Call 'em. Got to get the stuff now before the money goes to crap.
Open closes at 6 p.m.
Let's go. Because we got to take a break for lunch anyway. All right, guys, we're going to end it up. We'll be back. We were on 2 hours and 9 minutes. I really appreciate the super chats from you guys. They came from Chris Everson and RC Fred.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Let's see, Chris, I gave you, there are 3 sources for parts: Cox International and Cox Malameca or Engines of America. Yeah, I've been thinking about what I'm going to do with that little thing. I'm probably going to build a little nobler.
For the 049
TD.
TD. Got to build one for them O2Os.
Yeah.
You run around with it on top of your hat like, what's his name?
I just put a thing in the head like, yo.
Laser, he had one on the top of his hat with a little 12-inch wingspan or something. Right there.
Yeah, I got the same one.
These are medallions, aren't they?
TD.
TDs are black, aren't they?
No.
Or the O2Os red.
What Chris explained to me is the TDs have the Venturi in the front.
Yeah, but like in TDs, if they're black bodied, they're TD. If they're red bodied, they're a medallion. I don't know how the O2Os go, but the TD or a medallion O2O, whatever it is.
We paid too much for them.
Need to know 10.
Yeah.
The next smaller than this one. And I remember we had little biplanes that one of these went in when we were kids.
Red Baron?
We'd fly them on one string and we'd just whip them around our heads, around the engine, just whip them around. That one came with a short gas tank or long gas tank. You could replace the main body.
That's not a gas tank.
Yeah, it's this front part of the gas tank. Then
Right.
a back plate that sticks on the back plate.
Right, so you can run a
They
fuel
run a
tank.
fuel tank. Okay, yeah, that is, isn't it? It's even got a little spring starter on What do we pay for these?
$50.
We pay that much a piece?
Yeah.
I didn't think we paid that much for them.
Got
Got two of
50
them.
right on there.
Yeah, I know, I've got two of them. I thought we got it cheaper than that. Yeah, this one's the same way.
All right, guys, we're gonna go to lunch. We'll be back after lunch, maybe. I don't know what time it is. Let's see, TD020. They never made an 020 medallion, Chris says.
Okay, that answers the question. Thank you.
There's the Thunderbolt. It's all in one piece. We're ready to go as far as mounting out now. There'll be 1,000 hours of sanding.
You've been talking about Japanese back saws and stuff. They got those over there too, but I've never found one with fine enough teeth on it for me.
Oh, we're gonna go. Let's go. How far away is it?
It's 10 minutes.
All right, guys. We'll be back after lunch. Thanks for watching. Fair winds, tight
Thanks very
lines.
much. We'll see you guys after lunch.
See ya. I gotta go to the bathroom.